Think of your worst, Natalie Shimanek. Think of your worst business moment. How did you come back from that?
Oh, yeah.
Because business is hard.
It
It's
is.
got
Yeah.
its ups and downs. Um, I would say the moment where we tried out crowdfunding because we were working so hard, and you'll see this in that timeline, that idea book timeline. You'll see this repetitive thing, but we just we kept thinking, man, but it took a lot of our effort. We wanted, I guess, the easy road. I don't know if we would say that. Sometimes we just were
Well,
like
it's not,
we're hoping
yeah.
that this would work out, like, right?
We were just trying to figure out how to grow.
Yeah.
And that was an avenue that had come open at the time as a thought. And we had already exhausted quite a lot of other.
We tried Shark Tank. We
We
tried
tried a lot of
tried
ways
just
to
different
make
things.
it happen.
Because if you can remember, around 2009, guys, like the economy was, yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was just bad. Nobody was giving out loans or anything like that. Like, we didn't have a lot of options. The good thing is I'm sure it's the way that God wanted it to be, because it forced us to grow a little bit slower than maybe we were thinking at that time. And
Yeah.
it was hard. It was really awful with
it not only forced, I guess, in what you just said, like to grow at a certain pace, but it also made us learn like so much, like to create a foundation that we can really like stand on. And that was our goal. Like, we didn't want it just to be like, a business that showed up and then gone. Like, we were hoping that we continue to change this industry, the scrapbooking industry, or the creative industry, but just be an impulse or an influence in that industry. We didn't want to just let it. We wanted to be smart too. So yeah, that was really hard. The crowdfunding, I think I lost it. Shiloh doesn't see me lose it much.
that was rough. That was a hard moment.
I remember going over your house just being like in tears.
Yeah.
Also, when the software crashed this last time, my kids never seen me like that. They're like, Mom, and I'm like, it's okay. Just learn to take a break. You don't learn to quit. Like, I keep trying to teach them these lessons through these things. Like, so as far as like getting back, like you take a breather and then you go back at the drawing board. Like, you just go back,
And we just hope that everybody sticks with us through some of the hiccups as you guys have.
They're inedible. Like anybody that grows or does anything, you have to live and learn. And so sometimes you do have to do that. But no, yeah, that crowdfunding, I think it wasn't the disappointment. It was the impression, the narrative of the intention.
The reaction. Yeah, that was hard. Because that wasn't what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah. But it also taught me the most valuable lesson that anchored, which for me, I see as a blessing, from God, that he knew I needed to learn that lesson. And that was that, Susan, you're just not going to make everybody happy, and it was just like this realization that we'll do our best, like in customer support, our bar, like we constantly are going back to our team. Okay, well, let's try to improve it next time, or let's not do it that way, or like, how can we be better, or like, but also at the end of the day, just, it is hard. It's hard. Yeah. Just sometimes you just can't make everyone happy. So,
but we do our best.
Yes, we do our best.
Try to move past.
And when we make a mistake, we try really hard to quickly fix that. But yeah, so we're excited. This last year, I'll end on this note, just as far as, expanding and growing, we talking about past lessons. And I think that's kind of, for me, as I look back, like, it was so important for us to take each one of those avenues and those roads. So I hope you do take a minute and read the timeline idea book. And of course, hopefully use the sketches and the ideas and create something of your own with them. Hopefully it inspires you in that way too. But anyways, so just looking back, like each pivotal moment, whether that was redefining character or growing or just learning and evaluating, living and learning in different ways. But it was important, I feel like, for every single one of those. And I think we had our biggest epiphany at the end of 2019, where it was like, okay, like, what do we want and why do we want it and how do we want it? And all of these are saying to do it this way, and we're putting ourselves here, but what is our internal voice saying? you know, like a lot of times. And I think that's another pivotal lesson, if I could say, was just like for me to realize the Lord's like saying, okay, you're watching, but I'm trying to like speak to you in a different way. And it might look a little bit different outside of the box per se.
Sometimes different is good.
Yeah, sometimes, but it's also sometimes scary, you know, in a different form, in different ways. And so everybody will have its journey, and it's been a crazy journey. So for sure, crazy journey.
It has crazy, but good.
But you know what the great thing is? Sometimes at the end of those days, you know what my therapy is? I go scrapbook. Scrapbook. I know. It always just makes my kids are like, wait, are you working or not working? I'm like, no, I'm not working, but technically I'm working because I will probably share this in work.
But it still is a great stress reliever.
Oh my gosh, it is my go-to, like legit. So when you guys ask how many times I scrapbook, I probably scrapbook once a week because it's like my therapy session. So
yeah.
It's great. I have more issues than Shiloh, I guess, but
no, it's not that. My life is just very different.
I know. So I know it is.
I usually schedule out like a week where I can really focus on scrapbooking because that and I love it because for that week I just know that I've scheduled everything else around it so I can have that time to create and make my things, and I love having the Kiwi Clubs because I know I'll at least get that much done every month. And I usually try to do a little more on top of it, but I know that I'm going to at least get that much done every month. Yeah. And it's great. I mean, I love it. I love creating, and you can't help but feel joyful by the time you're done, even as you start, but when you end and you see what you've made. Yeah. It's a beautiful feeling, and it's worth it.
Something beautiful. Every time. Specifically in the art of the scrapbooking because of the combinations of counting your blessings at the same time as tuning into your creativity. So